What's happening, gang? Back live in the ESPN radio studios, San Diego. I appreciate you hanging out. This is Truth Radio. No fridge magnets, no broken promises, and no BS. You just come in here and you got to tell the truth. And we are doing just that, gang. Flanked by two soon-to-be superstars. I can already hear the chants outside with the banners and the flyers. Nicki, Nicki. That's Nicki Cometa from the Affirmed Housing game. You can check her out and all of her crew's glory over at affirmedhousing.com. And this is Joel Incorvaia, three-time champ.
I'm a pro now.
Three-time champ inside the Truth Radio hot seat. Joel is all things. And, man, in fact, why don't you guys do yourselves a solid and introduce yourselves properly for the first time? Maybe we should have done that at the top.
Okay. Nicki Cometa, which everyone's heard now. Affirmed Housing. I'm the chief financial officer. Been with the company for almost 7 years. Fantastic. And have always been in the real estate arena, so always building homes. I love the fact that, we can actually make communities and give people a place to live. So always love that about my career, and love that now I'm actually doing it in the affordable community.
Yeah. So is that your why?
That's my why. My why. I love, the homes. That's the most important place for someone. And the fact that we get to develop and build them and make the community better is very dear to my heart. And I get my paycheck, of course, but all is good.
Well, there's remuneration where there's value that's created. Right. There's only three ways you can make money. You can either coerce, deceive, or value create. So thank you for choosing the third. Now, speaking of coerce and deceive, no, I'm only kidding. Only kidding because I love him. I love him. That's, of course, my main man, Joel, who's been my stalwart in this conversation of making sure that folks are protected and safe in the many moving parts of the real estate conversation. That's your specialty, real estate law. Why don't you introduce yourself in case they didn't catch you the first couple times you were on the show?
My name's Joel Incorvaia, and I have a law practice called Incorvaia Associates located in Del Mar, California. I've been a real estate lawyer for over 36 years in San Diego and work a lot with developers as well as other people involved in different aspects of the real estate industry. And I feel privileged that I've been able to work in affordable housing for a good portion, I think, over the last 25 years. Done a lot of work with the Affirmed Housing Group on, I think, up to 40 projects now they've built throughout California and other states. And, sometimes as an attorney, you're just trying to help people make a profit, make money, developing and so forth. But when you're working with affordable housing, I think you just feel better about what you're doing because you're really creating something that's helping the community. You're doing something that's positively affecting society because there's such a need for this type of housing, and you're helping so many people. So I really count it a privilege that I've been able to develop more and more of my practice towards working with developers like Affirmed that specialize in the affordable housing business.
I know we talked about the negatives, all the negatives, the myths. But I have to say, since I've been working in this arena, and especially with Joel, it is so collaborative. All the people that come together to get these done. It's really satisfying. It's very valuable to all of us to be able to work in this collaborative environment.
Yeah. Joel, my real estate lawyer for the last 16 years of doing this as well. I love that you light up like a Christmas tree when you talk about this stuff. Would you say this is sort of like a freebie? It's all like a motor that automatically gets to move you because you're moving the needle with this work?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think everybody wants to do work that is helping people. And I think as a lawyer, our job basically is to help people with their problems. But some of those problems are only specific to them. You're not really helping society in general. But I do want to do things that help people. And it's great to work in an industry where you're not only making an income, but you're doing something that's positively affecting society.
Perfect segue to the Chargers. No, just kidding there. But it's interesting. I don't know how if this is even a possible thing, a narrative to bridge. But there's a lot of talk about trying to put a stadium downtown, and if it's a conversation of any intelligence or merit, there usually jumps right to the impact that would have on that little area, right? So we kind of saw what happened with Petco. There was a lot of people don't remember, but there was some challenges back then You know, when that whole thing was breaking about what do you do with the homeless and the displacement and all that stuff. Now everybody points to the Petco being a big success and the development of the East Village and the money at the, you know, what downtown looked like before and what it looks like now. What are your thoughts? You know, you're an expert in this capacity. What do you think about the long and short term of putting a stadium down there?
Oh boy, now we're changing complete subjects. Well, I'll probably address what you were talking about with the homeless.
Yeah.
Because there is a segment of that we actually partner with downtown and other local agencies to help figure out where to put the homeless, where to house the homeless. So that's going to be something we're interested in as well, and taking a look at what happens with the Charger Stadium. But you know, it's concerning because it will have such an impact on that local area. So we're going to need some experts. I'm not sure I say yes to that at this point. It's going to be it could be a difficult decision.
Well, I've been around in San Diego a long time, and I remember when Petco Park was developed and how ugly that neighborhood was that it was constructed in. And you definitely can see a complete change in that East Village area because of Petco Park and how it's really enhanced the gas lamp district and really made that part of San Diego so attractive. And I think a good thing that came out of that is companies like Affirmed were able to build some new affordable housing projects near Petco Park that actually service some of the people at the very bottom rung of the income structure. They have a project there called Studio 15 that is basically studio apartments that are geared towards people at the lower end of the spectrum. I think Father Joe's Village has really done a lot. It's really literally next door to help the homeless population was displaced. And the firm has another project called Connections that's devoted just to people that are homeless or at-risk homeless. So I think actually the redevelopment isn't really hurting the community. I think it's helping no matter what you put in there, because it's basically stimulating other development and rebuilding the downtown area that deteriorated so bad over the years.
Well, I'll tell you what, gang, I'll parlay off of that concept of a stimulating conversation, and I appreciate you guys for coming in the studio and making that so for myself and hopefully for you as well, Truth Nation. How about one final big thank you and send off for our crew in here, Nicki Cometa from AffirmedHousing.com. Appreciate you for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You betcha. And then, of course, Joel Incorvaia of IncorLaw.com. I thank you as well, my friend.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
You betcha, gang. I'm looking forward to hopefully watching this needle move as a result of this, not just if you're listening live, but also catching any of the shows over on the YouTubes, right? Producer Adrian taking advantage of all that stuff, making it all nice and sexy for us so that this conversation can live on. And then we will see you back here next week, gang, for same bat time, same bat channel, a little more dose of the truth. Thanks for hanging out.